One nation bound in freedom, peace, and unity. And now for this centenary song, a celebration of Nigeria's legacy, 100 years of agriculture. Agriculture is working. The centenary theme song, a celebration message declaring across the nations from this transformational heartbeat called the Nigerian Center of Agricultural Enterprise, Abuja. Today, Agrifest 2015, in the message of 100 years of the past, 100 years of the future.
Through these 100 years, our struggles and through all our fears. We're strong in our unity. Peace, our destiny. Here we are. Standing tall. Standing tall. We're standing tall. Standing tall. Through adversity. We are walking. We are 100 years of unity. Nigeria. We will stand.
Welcome as guests. We also have various cultural groups in this arena. And then we shall be listening to agricultural transformation agenda, success testimonials, and then goodwill messages before President Goodluck Jonathan makes his speech. And then we shall be calling it a day here. Agricultural festival, showcasing that agriculture is working and Nigeria is working. The president had to take a break from the campaigns today for this event. Of course, after this event, we'll be heading home to Bayelsa State for the burial of the sister, after which he will be back on the road for the political campaigns, canvassing for votes from Nigerians in the 2015 presidential elections. I also asked the Minister of Agriculture what this is all about. That is also strategic. You have to showcase what you have if you want people to believe you. It's not just about talk, it's about also work. And that is why the Eagle Square is filled up. You may not see crowd at the center because the arrangement is such that all the farmers are seated at the pavilion, and every seat is filled up. Every pavilion here is filled up with farmers drawn from the 36 states of the Federation. Some of them have benefited financially. I listened to a testimony earlier in the morning coming from a woman that said that the first time she could get 10 million naira, which she plowed back into her farms. And today the youth are in abundance. This song that has been on the airwaves more than any other song, if you ask me, last year and this year, in the past 1 year, it's been the most popular song by Onyeka Onwenu and her group. So for now we're going to go for the opening prayers, after which we'll be listening to the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Dr. Kumi Adeshina, who will be giving us a welcome address and be talking to us about what this Agrifest is all about.
Agrifest 2015. Our host, the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Dr. Adeshina. I would like to crave our indulgence to please rise up in a brief moment as we give God thanks and praise for his hand upon our nation and his hand upon the agricultural sector of the nation Nigeria, as we share a brief word of prayer. Our Father and our God will lift our hearts and our voices to give you the praise and the glory for the gift of life. We thank you for the privilege of being a part and a parcel of this great nation called Nigeria. We thank you for the instrument and the instrumentation of the Ministry of Agric through the past 4 years, wherein which we witnessed progress and tremendous reformation and transformation. We give you the praise, the glory, and the honor, even in Jesus' wondrous name. We thank you, our Father, for it is for man to plant, for man to water, but only the God of heavens and the earth to give the increase. We thank you for staying your hands far from a plague or disease over our land. We thank you for the increase we witness and will still witness. We commend our gathering unto you today as we ask for your kingdom to come and your will to be done. Let your peace reign upon this gathering and more so upon the nation Nigeria. We speak peaceably to the north, the south, the east, and the west, and the heart of the nation Nigeria. In Jesus' victorious name we have prayed.
Salli ala Nabil Kareem.
More prayers now.
Makaranto kul huwallahu kafa uku kowace da bismillah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Qul huwallahu ahad, Allahus samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. قل هو الله الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. مكرنتو ورفعناه مكان العليا قفا goma sha ɗaya. sai mu ce rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina azaban nar. Ya Allah madaukaki, ya Allah, kamar yadda ka kama wannan wuri, ya Allah ka inganta zuwanmu, ka inganta zukatunmu, ka inganta kasarmu, ya Allah ka kawo mana sauki cikin kasarmu, ya Allah ka jibance mu da yin ayyuka na gari, ya Allah ka kyautata zukatunmu, ya Allah ka sa harkoki da suke gudana a Najeriya na noma da sauransu, ya Allah ka ƙara ci da su gaba, matasanmu, ya Allah ya Ubangiji ka ƙara shirar da su, ya Allah ya Ubangiji shugabanci a wannan ƙasa, ya Allah ka ƙara kyautata shi, ya Allah ka samu gama da duniya lafiya. A cika da bismillah da fatiha. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Alhamdulillah.
Amen. Agriculture is working, and the power of prayer of the National Enterprise of Transformation
into the hands of God just before we kick off. The next item on the program will be the welcome address by the Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Dr. Kumi Adeshina.
The principal host, Honorable Minister for Agriculture and Rural Development, Dr. Kumi Adeshina, CON, and his Honorable Minister for State, Mrs. Asabe Asmau Ahmed, you and your distinguished entourage of ministers and all of the representation of the Federal Executive Cabinet are welcome. Good morning to a day of celebrating your transformation agenda working in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Agriculture is working, Nigeria is working. Mr. President, you are working. Great Nigeria farmers, are you here today? Without question, Never before in the history of Nigeria has the affirmative economy of agricultural enterprise come to such a fore place of representation on global economies of scale. I don't need to say it any further. I invite to come up stage right now the Honorable Minister for Agriculture and Rural Development, the #1 agropreneur of global enterprise for agriculture in Africa, and the one who has given the nomenclature to Mr. President as the Farmers President, Dr. Akinwumi Ayodeji Adesina, CON. Let's put our hands together as we welcome him up. This morning, it is a broadcast, it is a celebration, and it is a pronouncement of new beginnings.
Great farmers! Great farmers! Your Excellency, Mr. President, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. Your Excellency, Mr. Vice President, Your Excellencies, Executive Governors, distinguished senators and honorable members of the House of Assembly, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Chief of Staff of Mr. President and Deputy Chief of Staff of Mr. Vice President, members of the Federal Executive Council, heads of diplomatic missions and agencies,